comments, and we'll follow with questions.
All right, well, it doesn't change this week, just like every week. We, got a chance yesterday to look at Texas State and, look at the good and the bad. No matter whether you win or lose, you have to look at the game and assess what you did well, what you didn't do so well. And a part of growing as a team is you're gonna make mistakes. It's correcting those mistakes and then improvement, playing your rear ends off, making more mistakes, correcting those mistakes and moving on, and as a team continuing to get better. And I think our team is doing that. We had a good little hour of practice last night, so we're excited about the opportunity this week to go up to Nebraska, another measuring stick for our program, as every game is, but a storied program as Nebraska, and a really good football coach and staff, Mike Riley and his staff, that did a great job at Oregon State. And I know a couple of those guys on that staff, and they do a great job. It'll be a real challenge for us. Offensively, they're gonna do some things similar to what we just saw, basically the first 3 weeks, with some quarterback run stuff. And then defensively, we're gonna see, 4 down, quarters approach, really physical up front. They're good up front. They're physical on the perimeter. So we've got our work cut out for us this week, but our guys are excited. We went up there a couple of years ago and didn't put our best foot forward, but we're significantly better than we were then.
Coach, I asked you about this, I think, last week, but Casey Martin brought it up after the game Saturday about just how much better you guys are at edge blocking and downfield blocking. He said, he felt like he, should have been down around the 2015 or something like that, but he looks up and he sees Mike and DJ there still pumping it. I mean, when the players are taking...
We were better this week, I will say that. I thought we were significantly better this week on the perimeter blocking. We took a step forward. I really didn't think in the first 2 games, I thought it was okay. I don't think it was an advantage. I don't think we understood the expectations of our team and how everybody has to pull their weight. But they were significantly better this past week, and I anticipate that will continue.
What do you do to improve, just working at it, guys getting older?
Part of that is to show the pictures. You gotta show the pictures of what it looks like. That's what it ought to look like. Why is it that it's more important to this player than that player? We control that. We control our effort, our energy, our attention to detail. All we ask our guys, play as hard as they can. If they can't play hard anymore, they gotta come out. We'll put someone else in. That's something that we all control. Our effort, our mental toughness. And so at times it can become less of an expectation of your team that those guys not to block on the perimeter. I don't know if we'll ever be perfect, but if you strive for perfection, then you got a chance to be really, really good out there, and we can be better out there, and we were better on Saturday.
Coach, we've talked a lot over the last couple of years about the team learning how to win again. This week we saw the team go up by 3 scores 2 different occasions, and they just didn't quite put them away. Is learning to put a team away also a process in that learning curve?
Part of that, I think. I think, as I always say, confidence comes from individual confidence, your individual success, that I believe I'm capable as a player. Then when the players see other players doing the same thing and have confidence, it builds confidence that they have in your team or a unit or offense or defense. I think that starts it. And then, but you gotta find a way to do it. You have to have enough playmakers to make plays, because it's, it can creep back in your mind, hey, we expect to win or we expect to lose. But bottom line is, this is a different team. This is a different feel. We have enough playmakers now to give ourselves a chance every week. And again, I can't speak to the psyche of every player, but I do think that there's certain moments in the game that come up where it generates that, hey, we're fine. And I just feel that about our team. Our team believes in each other and believes how far we've come and where we're headed.
back-to-back weeks, combined 108 points, so at least on that side of the ball. Is that what you envisioned throughout fall camp and, when you're drawing things up?
No. I mean, all you envision of doing is just getting better and practicing well every day and preparing every day, taking care of your body during the week, getting your rest, eating, sleeping, hydrating, so we can have great practices that leads to great performances on Saturday. That's the real challenge with young kids today. It's not Saturday. Our guys are ready. We feed them great on the road or here. It's a matter of during the week. How do we get our guys to be at their best Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for their not only physical preparation, but their mental preparation, which leads to the success on Saturday. So that's been the real challenge. We've done a much better job of that. And I think we've seen that, but to expect that's what you're gonna score, every game is different, and averages doesn't mean anything to me. What does Nebraska pose for us on both sides of the ball? That's really the challenge. Whether we just gave up 50 or we scored 50, you see that change every week. It's a week-to-week thing.
Talking about Nebraska, they lost a couple of games in, I guess, disappointing fashion. What do you think that does to a team's psyche? I mean, like, what kind of team do you expect to see on Saturday from a psyche standpoint?
I don't know what it does to their team. I can't speak to that. I know that the right way they would look at it, say, man, we're a few minutes away from being 3-0 and being a ranked football team, which they are. And they've played a pretty good schedule now. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. BYU's a good football team. I mean, at UCLA, they could have won this week and been 3-0. And South Al's probably gonna be a bowl team. They just beat San Diego State. And then they have to go play in Miami. So they played a really good schedule. If you look around the country, I bet the first 3 games, not many teams have played that quality of schedule, and they've been right there. So in my mind, I don't know where they would lose confidence. I mean, they're right there as a group. They've got a really good coaching staff. They've got really good players. So I don't see any reason why they would change their approach or how they look at it. They've got a good football team.
Coach, could you compare Nebraska quarterback Tommy Armstrong to the quarterback you just saw at Texas State?
Well, I'm gonna give you a little funny story about Tommy Armstrong, okay? So I'm at Oklahoma State, we go do a camp in San Antonio, and he comes to the camp. And at that time, we weren't looking at a dual threat guy, and I think more and more football's going to that. Well, he either been committed or had an offer from Nebraska, and we tried to convince him at the camp, you gotta go play another position. And maybe safety or wideout, he said, I'm not gonna do it, I'm staying at quarterback. And he went through the whole camp and threw the heck out of it. At that time, we weren't taking a guy like that. We told him, heck, Nebraska's lying to you, they're gonna move you. And I'll be darned, they haven't moved him, and he's a whale of a football player, man. He's a good football player, he's a leader, he's a winner. And I'm sad they haven't moved him, to be real honest with you. But he's a good football player, he'll be a handful. And they're gonna do a lot of the same things we've seen, which is what it's going to. Let's not kid ourselves. College football and even the NFL is going to more athletic quarterbacks. It's good football. It's hard to defend. And so we're gonna go that direction. That's the way it's going. I mean, it's the way it is. You wanna move the football consistently, get quarterbacks that can move around a little bit.
You talked about this game being a measuring stick, so I guess the first game against Mississippi State was also kind of in that same category. So how is this one either different or the same in terms of being a barometer for the program?
Oh, I think anytime you desire to be a Division I football player, the measuring stick is programs that have had success and are successful right now, to see where you're at. How far have we come to go on the road and put our best foot forward? So to me, that's always right. But it's one game, just like last week was one game. Can't be 1 week the sky's falling, the next week we can beat anybody in the country. We've got a good football team. How we prepare, how we do it, we control. That's the only thing we can control.
What type of steps do you take in the early part of the week or even later part of the week with penalties? I think it was 15 last week, and then 4 of them were pass interference penalties. One was a personal foul. You just tell the guys?
Yeah, you show them the video. I mean, I think you show them the video of the things that we can't continue to do. Again, some of it you can correct. Some of it, if they're aggressive penalties, then you have to live with. I think we've, for the most part, eliminated some of the false start issues. But, you know, obviously, we can't have the same number of penalties and try to think we're gonna overcome them against good people, so. But you address it, we talk to the team about it, and we move forward.
I guess 2-1 is maybe where you expect to be, this early in the season, but to have that on paper and be over 500 for the first time since you've been there, how big is that?
Oh, I don't know, I don't really, I mean, I didn't have any expectation. I expected we'd be better. I didn't know what the record would be. I never try to guess the record. I just know the way we prepared leading into our first game, and the team that we have gave us a lot of confidence that we could compete. So that I knew, you know, I didn't have any preconceived notions that we would lose a game. I didn't say, okay, 2-1 was where I expect to be. No, I didn't expect that. Just like I wouldn't have expected if you didn't know. I just expected our team to play well. I expected our guys to practice well, and they have.
After Saturday, you brought up the offensive line and how well they performed, and so did other guys. Jalen brought it up, Nick brought it up as well. I mean, Luke Meadows deserves a lot of credit for that, wouldn't you say?
Luke's done a great job with the offensive line, and we had everybody back, and we added some guys to that mix. And we still have levels we can get to up front. I mean, we're playing okay, I mean, we're playing fine, but we can play better. You know, in terms of our football position, our base, our ability to move people, our ability to communicate. And that's everywhere, that's not just them. We have room for improvement in a lot of areas, but we have talented guys up there. And so, you know, we've got to continue to get better and move people. We're gonna have a real challenge this week up front. They've got some stout guys, man. This is not gonna be an easy challenge for us. So it's a real challenge for our guys this week, because that's the strength of their defense. If you ask me what it is, it's the guys up front, and they're physical. So it's gonna be a real challenge for us this week. I think one that our guys are up to, but we've gotten better. But how we consistently keep our energy, our drive, our pad level, our foot quickness, those kind of things throughout the game. And we've rotated a number of guys. Will be critical to this week, because you can't get edgy against these guys. You can't get lazy against this group.
You talked the last couple of years about breaking the season into quarters, and I guess that kind of goes back to what he was asking about where you thought you'd be and that sort of thing. But first quarter of the season's over.
You want to have winning quarters. I mean, if you break it up into quarters, I thought that was a good way of doing it when I was in the NFL, and it's good. We're 2-1 at this quarter. Now we've got another second quarter of the season. Because if you end up with a winning quarter, if you end up with winning quarters every quarter, you're gonna have a good year. And if you happen to have, you know, 3-0s, if you have stuff like that, then you have a great year. But you want to consistently break it up. That's gone. Okay, now we've got Nebraska, which is the first game of the second quarter, and they're next. And not particularly for our guys, whether it was Austin Peay, Mississippi State, or Nebraska. It's not really the team, it's what they do schematically that presents problems for you, and then what do they have personnel-wise that poses problems. Those are the two biggest things. What do we have to prepare for, not only from a schematic standpoint, but then from an individual talent standpoint, where there may be mismatches or advantages, things you want to maybe take advantage of, and certain things you want to stay away from.
Is there any kind of difference in your players' mindset when they play against a team like Nebraska, which is a nationally known team? You know, they're known for their football.
I hope not. I hope there's not anything that's different about that. I mean, I think Southern Miss is pretty well known in football for being a really good program and having good football players. We've had 4 guys drafted the last 4 years. So, I mean, we've had good players here. We've had good teams. So I hope our guys don't look at it any different than it's an opportunity. You know, that's what it is. It's another opportunity for us and a measuring stick to how far we've come against a really good football team and a really good coaching staff. So I hope our guys don't look at it any different, don't approach it any differently.
Anything else for Coach? Coach, thank you.
Thank you.